How's going on, everybody? It's me, the one that loves cartoons, and in today's video, well, I'm gonna be talking about a cartoon. So, the set names for the 2022 Ninjago season were leaked by PromoBrick, a very reliable source if you ask me. It's the same site that leaked to us the evolution sets, or the core sets, that are related to the core shorts. And well, that did turn out to be true, because the core sets got released in January, so yeah. As we can see in the sets for the next Ninjago season, we can see old villains in those sets, okay, for the 2022 Ninjago season that we're gonna get, I think, this summer or April, like Seabound. So yeah, we can see old villains in those sets. For Pythor to come back, I can see it happening. Last time we saw Pythor was in the Day of the Departed TV special. They ruined his redemption in that special, because in Tournament of Elements we saw him help Lloyd and Garmadon defeat the Anaconda, and then they made him a villain again for no reason in Day of the Departed. Then after he fought Lloyd, he left and we never saw him again. It's been 5 years since we saw Pythor. I think it's about time for his return. If he doesn't come back, I'm not holding my breath. Like, it's fine. Like, Pythor, I won't say he's one of my favorite Ninjago villains. Like, he was a good villain in Rise of the Snakes, okay? I really like the character, but he's not a villain that I will be super excited to see him return for a future Ninjago story. If he doesn't return, that's totally fine. But if he does, yeah, I will be interested, I will be intrigued to see what they will do with his character in the next season. He could help this Crystal King villain, which I think is going to be the main villain of the next season, but I'm not sure. I'm not sure about that. So yeah, Pythor coming back, yeah, I think it will be fine. Now let's jump into the elephant in the room, Harumi. A much better villain in my opinion, and she is in the Crystal King set, so she could also help this Crystal King guy if he is the main villain of the season. Now I have questions, okay? Last time we saw Harumi was in Hunted. She died in that season. She got her redemption. She died the same way her parents died, okay? Her parents died to save her, and she died to save those two parents and their little kid. So yeah, her arc was full circle if you ask me. I don't see a reason of bringing her back. She died in the season, so they could retcon her death, saying that she found a way to escape the building before it collapsed. I mean, we didn't see her body or anything when the building collapsed, so they could easily retcon her death. And this is not the first time they brought back Harumi. They did that in Prime Empire with Avatar Harumi, and I thought that was a smart move of bringing her back as a villain without ruining her redemption, because it's an NPC. Okay, she's not the real Harumi. She's part of Prime Empire, and they brought her back for fan service, of course, but they used her very well, okay? And it's to mess with Lloyd's feelings, since in Secrets of the Forbidden Spinjitzu, Lloyd started having these trust issues because of Harumi, and we realized that he still has feelings for her. She really impacted Lloyd, and they continued that with Prime Empire, with Lloyd actually dealing with Harumi. So Harumi is a great villain, a great character, but I don't know if I would want her to return. Like, I really love Harumi. She was amazing in Sons of Garmadon and Hunted. But yeah, they gave her a conclusion, and I don't know if I would want her to come back, okay? I really like what they did to her in Sons of Garmadon and Hunted. Even though she died, her presence was still alive on Lloyd's, with him having feelings for her and still being messed up by what she did to him. I mean, after the Oni trilogy, Harumi's actions still affected Lloyd, okay? We saw that in Secrets of the Forbidden Spinjitzu when he was talking non-stop about Harumi to Akira and not wanting to trust Akira, because when he trusted someone before, she turned on him, and that's Harumi. In Prime Empire, he had to fight Avatar Harumi, believing it's the actual Harumi, still having feelings for her, not being able to fight her while she's playing with his emotions. And in Master of the Mountain, he didn't want to trust Vanya, so I'd say there is no reason to bring Harumi back. Her impact is still on Lloyd's, and I want to see him deal with that and try to move on. So yeah, I don't want Harumi to come back. There is no reason for her to return. She had a perfect conclusion, a full circle conclusion. Maybe if they do bring her back, they could amaze me with her character after her return. Then yeah, I think I will be excited to see more of Harumi in the next season. I think they could wrap up the Lloyd trust issues subplot with Harumi returning and apologizing to Lloyd and him learning to trust again. Cause that subplot kinda doesn't have a conclusion yet. Cause he did trust Akira, but then he made the same mistake and he didn't want to trust Vanya. Then he did trust Vanya at the end. So who knows if he's not gonna do the same mistake again. So the subplot needs to have a good conclusion in my opinion, and maybe Harumi coming back could help Lloyd trust again, and the two could rebuild their relationship. I don't know. Should Harumi come back? Not really, in my opinion, because they did a lot with her character even after her death, with Lloyd still having feelings for her in the Wild Brain Ninjago season and his trust issues. So they could do a story with Lloyd moving on from Harumi without the need of bringing Harumi back, just him finally being ready to let go and learn to trust. They could do this story for Lloyd without the need of bringing Harumi back. But it looks like she's gonna return. I just hope they won't ruin her redemption like they did to Pythor. I hope she will be good, and we will see her go through this arc of Harumi trying to forgive herself for what she did by resurrecting Lord Garmadon and destroying the whole city. So yeah, and I would love to see more of her relation with Lloyd if she's gonna return. If she's not gonna return, I'll be fine, because I actually don't want her to return. But it's looking like she's gonna come back. We have a sphero who's coming back. She's included in Cole's Golden Dragon Cruise. By the looks of it, this set wave has a lot of gold in it. A lot of people are saying that the next season could be the final season, especially with the villains coming back, and you have the color gold being a big deal, but we're still not sure. But again, back to Sphero, she will return in that set, and she's gonna have a crystal form to her. Like kinda in the fire chapter, she was powered by Kai's fire powers. I feel like she will be powered by crystal this time. Sphero is one of my least favorite villains. I just really don't like her. They did her dirty in Secrets of the Forbidden Spinjitzu's fire chapter, so maybe that they could give her character a second chance to be a good villain in the next season. Kinda like what they did with Electro in The Amazing Spider-Man 2. A lot of people hated him. They made him a lot better in Spider-Man No Way Home, the third MCU Spider-Man movie. So same thing could be for Sphero. They could make her a much better villain. And yeah, the final villain that is coming back is King Vangelis, aka the Skull Sorcerer. Skull Sorcerer is a good villain in my opinion. Like, it was very fresh seeing Skull Sorcerer come after Ice Emperor and Unagami. Both villains got redeemed at the end. Vangelis, on the other hand, is a villain who didn't get redeemed. Okay, I like that he had a customer who was willing to pay for his Venge Stone, and he went out of his way to force the Munzengeckels to work for him. They were his slaves. He did all of that just so he could get money. I liked his motives. Okay, they made him a business guy, and I just like that. It was something new to Ninjago. Vangelis doesn't want to control the world or anything. He just wants money, and he went out of his way to force the Munzengeckels to work for him. He's included in Zane's Golden Dragon Racer, and his return would be very good in my opinion if the next season will deal with the Vengestone buyer, this mysterious character. He is Vangelis' customer, so yeah, I'm excited to see what Skull Sorcerer will bring into the table. He doesn't have Hazardur. I mean, at the end of Master of the Mountain, Cole destroyed the skull, so how is he gonna get those powers again? Maybe we will find out more about the Vengestone buyer with reintroducing Vangelis. So yeah, Vengestone buyer could be the leader of these four villains, and the next season is described by Tommy Andresen as the conclusion season. Again, it's looking like the next season could be the final season. Rumors are very strong about that. I always thought that conclusion is referring to the final season of the Elemental Chapter era of Ninjago, but it's looking like it's gonna be the end, and bringing back these old villains supports this idea even more. But it's not confirmed yet. I mean, Day of the Departed brought back many villains, and it wasn't the end of the show. So yeah, all we know is that the show could end, but Ninjago brand will still be alive, like the sets will still exist and all of that. They will still be making Ninjago sets. They could do that with Ninjago Core. They don't need to tie up the sets with the actual season. They could keep making Ninjago sets with this core wave of Ninjago sets without the need for the main TV show to continue. It's just that they are ready to wrap the main story of the show. But again, we have no confirmation. When we will have a confirmation, I will give my thoughts on Ninjago ending. This season of Ninjago is looking to be ambitious, okay, with bringing previous villains back, and they could work with the Vengestone buyer. He could be their leader, and the Vengestone buyer could be either an old villain or a new villain. I made my theory on the Vengestone buyer's identity like a while ago, so feel free to check it out. And yeah, I'm interested in seeing Pythor, Harumi, Vangelis, and Sphero work together, and their motives, and maybe their relation with the Vengestone buyer. And who knows, we might get more villains in the next season. I would love to see Lord Garmadon again, the Time Twins, Nauticon, as they are villains that didn't really die. Their story is still open, okay? Nauticon is in the Teapot of Tyron, Time Twins are still lost in time, and Lord Garmadon, he just left the monastery at the end of March of the Oni. Again, the writers could easily use them in the next Ninjago season. Because Lord Garmadon, Nauticon, the Time Twins, in my opinion, are much better choice than Pythor, Harumi, Skull Sorcerer, and Sphero. But yeah, I'm excited to see these 4 villains back in this next Ninjago season. I would love to see what they're gonna do with their characters. I hope they will be good villains, okay? I hope the next season it will be great, and yeah. Harumi, Pythor, King Vangelis, aka the Skull Sorcerer, and Sphero. Yeah, I'm looking forward to that. I hope they will be great characters and with good motives. I'm excited to see these guys back, and yeah, I'm very looking forward to the next Ninjago seasons. What are your thoughts on bringing back these 4 villains, okay? Just leave your thoughts down in the comments, okay? So if you guys like this video, then give it a like, and if you're not subscribed, then subscribe. It means a lot to me, and turn on the notifications so you'll be the first one to know when I upload a video. So thank you guys so much for watching. I'm the one that love this cartoon, and you're the one that love it too.